Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Art at the Glen with Mrs. Bergman. If you haven't caught on already, we are working with chalk today. That means we're getting outside, enjoying the fresh air, some beautiful weather, and doing some art with chalk. You can get your own chalk from the store, or you can make some at-home recipes down in the description I have posted. But either way, grab some chalk and let's get started. So you have some cars, you're having a great time, but what can make this better? Let's use some chalk to make a racetrack for your cars. Now the most important part of your racetrack is making sure that the cars can fit. So you're going to take your car and you're going to measure the width of the car on the outside of the wheels to get the right width for your track. Now here you can design it however you want. I'm going to do more of a circular one with curves in the road. I'm going to start on the outside line and I'm going to take it all the way around to meet on the other side. That's going to create the outside of my track. And then I'm going to continue to do that with the inside as well. Okay, so I've gotten my track mostly finished, colored it in with some dotted yellow lines, and now I'm going to add some colors and details, some stuff in the world around my track. So I'm going to start on the inside with some bushes. I'm going to use light color on the inside and dark color on the outside. Remember, you're working on concrete. There's a lot of texture there. So in order to really make it pop and see things the best, using a combination of colors to create depth and design is probably the best route to go. So I'm going to put a couple more bushes here, light color green with some dark on the outside, and one more bush, I think over here. And then to fill in that empty space in the middle, I'm thinking of doing a water feature. So let's make a pond with some light color and then some dark blue on the outside. As you can see here, I've added a few more details to my track. I've added a house, a bus, a tree. I think that's about where I'm going to stop. Maybe add a little sun. And then that's good for my track. You can add whatever other details you want. You can make it a city, outer space. Use your imagination. Okay, so for the next idea I want to try to create is a rocket ship blasting off into outer space, and me as an astronaut floating beside it. Now, going at this piece by piece is the best way. The first piece we're going to do is the rocket ship. Now, I have a big rocket ship, but not a lot of chalk. So I'm going to focus on making thick outlines on the outside of the rocket ship to give it color and detail. You don't need to color the whole thing in for it to look awesome. Adding some detail and just thick color outlines will help you with that. Here's the fins for my rocket ship. I'm also doing dark on the outside and light on the inside like I had done before, which really makes the picture pop out off the concrete. Now I'm going to add the fire to my boosters. Once again, I didn't color all the fire in. I'm just adding outlines and different colors. And here are some swirly action lines. These are to give the idea of smoke or clouds or the rocket ship blasting out into space. And then the final part of my rocket ship needs to be that porthole where the astronauts can see out. Once again, like I said, use contrasting colors, lights and darks, to make the colors really pop without having to color the whole thing in. Don't forget to give your spaceship a place to exist. You need to fill in the space around it, in this case, with literal space. Add some stars, some planets, and some details to make it look like it's flying out in space. Okay, so this is the harder part, and I'm going to be honest, it was pretty hard for me too. So just do your best and see how it turns out. I'm going to attempt to make the space helmet and my oxygen pack to make myself look like an astronaut for when I lay down on the concrete and you look from above. So I'm right next to my rocket ship, and before I started drawing my helmet and my space pack, I laid on the ground in the position I wanted and had Mr. Bergman measure where my shoulders were, where my head was, and where my back was, so I know where to start making all of this. I'm starting with a space helmet because that's the biggest part. And then I'm going to create a tube that goes all the way back to my air tank to give the illusion that the helmet and the tank are put together. Here is the line where my back was when I first measured this, and I'm drawing out the air tank. I'm just going to kind of leave it in a rectangle form. By no means am I going off any NASA plan. This is just my imagination of what I think a cartoon version of an oxygen tank could possibly look like. This does not need to be perfect, and mine is by no means perfect. Again, use some bright colors along with some dark colors to make it pop. I'm not coloring anything in all the way because that's just a waste of chalk. Here, I'm writing air on it, kind of give it the idea that it is an air tank, because let's be honest, not the best air tank in the world, but that's fine. This is all about just having fun and getting outside and enjoying some art. Okay, just putting some final touches on my air tank and helmet. I'm adding the dark purple because I need it to make it pop a little bit more. I used a lot of light colors here with the white and the blue, so just outlining it with the dark purple helps to really make it pop off of that concrete. Okay, moment of truth. All that's left to do is lay in place, try it out, and float in space. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Do not adjust your phone, tablet, or computer screen because I am not really floating in space. It is very convincing, I know. It looks incredibly realistic, but I am not really in space. So that is your lesson for today. We got some awesome chalk. Get outside, enjoy the sunshine, and use your imagination. And maybe you too can create such a convincing space design. So that's that. Hope you guys had a great time. And for more amazing stuff like this, like and subscribe so you don't miss an art project. See you later.